Why create a green roof? Claire Mortimer of Landcare Research explains the benefits of such roofs and a little bit of their history.
Green roofs have been around for a long time. You can think of, Irish sod roofs or the hanging towers of Babylon. But it's only been recently that green roofs have been seen as a real sustainability solution for cities. And that's because of they're actually absolutely wonderful for the following reasons. First of all, they slow down and filter stormwater, which is a real issue in cities where you get a lot of heavy rain and there's a lot of impervious surfaces, and impervious surface is something that doesn't let the rain through. So they act like great big sponges, and they soak up the rainwater and they filter it, so the water that comes off those roofs, there's less of it and it's cleaner. The next thing they do is that they bring wildlife into the city, so they help biodiversity. They bring in insects and plants and birds. The next thing is that a lot of our more intensified cities don't have many green spaces left. And green roofs and green walls, which is what I've got behind me, the green wall, provides green spaces without taking up space. The other thing they do, and this is going to become increasingly important with climate change and hotter temperatures in summer, is that they insulate roofs. So they cool down. It's a passive way of insulating a building. And this is also important in the urban area where you get these hot spots because there's so much concrete there. So it's a way of cooling down buildings as well. So today what we're going to be doing is looking at, how can we do a little green roof at home? And Robin's going to take us through designing a green roof letterbox. And by doing that, not only will you get a great letterbox, and you might want to do that in your local school, for instance, or at home, but it also teaches you the sort of basics of green roof design.
First we start with a letterbox. A flat roof letterbox is the easiest to use, as the soil substrate and plants are less likely to slip down the sides of the roof. But you can create green roofs on sloping building roofs and equally on sloping letterbox roofs. You have to create an edging around the letterbox roof to hold the soil and plants. So you can see that we've built a wooden edge around two sides of the roof. Next we need to waterproof the roof, so the wood of the letterbox doesn't touch the soil, as this will make it rot. You can lay down any thick plastic, like a scrap of pool liner or an adhesive plastic sheet. You then seal the edges with silicone glue. If we were making a green roof on a house, we would now put down a thick layer which looks like this, which would protect the plastic liner from being pierced by anyone working on the roof. But our letterbox is very small, so we don't need this large barrier. We'll just use a sort of felty material, a piece of old carpet or underlay works well. Cut to shape, lay it down and wet it. Now that waterproof layer beneath is safe. Now we need to put permeable edges on the sides of the roof where the water will run off. These hold the soil and plants in place, but let the rain drain through and off the letterbox. We're using some plastic moulding offcuts, but you could make a sausage of plastic coated chicken wire. Next we put on a waterproof cap on the sides of the letterbox, which again stops the soil from coming in contact with the wood and creating rot. You can make a cap out of aluminium or copper sheet. Ask an adult to help because the edges can be sharp and mustn't damage the plastic liner. Now we're going to put some pebbles along the edges. This is pumice and extra light, but any gravel is fine. The gravel stops the soil getting under the capping and rotting the letterbox. Next we'll put down the substrate the plants will grow in. We're using a mix of 70% pumice and 30% potting mix. This is a very porous mix because the substrate layer has to do two things. First, on a building roof it has to be light, otherwise the roof reinforcing is needed, which gets expensive. Second, the substrate needs to allow the rain to drain freely. Normal soil will get saturated with water and start slumping off the roof. Finally, it's time to plant out the roof. We're using succulents, as this letterbox roof will be in full sun, so it needs really tough, drought-tolerant plants. If your letterbox or roof is in a shady position, you could use a range of native creeping plants. Small plants establish better than large ones. Succulents are good as you can divide the plant into little ones, making it cheaper to cover a large area. Check for any disease or bugs in your plants first. Remove any slugs and look out for those white mealybugs and their waxy threads. If you have ants in your pots, that often indicates that there are mealybugs in the plants. We won't use any sick plants because they need to be healthy to establish quickly into a letterbox. So divide up the plants and place them in the substrate. It's good to get contrasting colours to create a more striking display. Give your letterbox plants a gentle water and water it every second day for a couple of weeks till they're established. Equally, keep the letterbox out of the hot afternoon sun for the first month or so. And there you have it, a green roof letterbox.